it's Matt Easton, founder of Easton University. I'm about to drop a bomb of knowledge on you. If you like it, give the video a like, leave a comment. I want to hear from you. And most importantly, please consider subscribing to this channel. I am making videos just like this for you so that you can be more successful both in business and life. How would you like it if I change your world, if I make your life a lot easier? Does that sound good? Kate, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Do you want me to change?
Absolutely.
Kay, do you want me to change your life today?
Of course.
All right, we're going to be talking about some super dope, amazing, awesome, powerful stuff that most likely you're not using because there was just a little bit of it in the portal, but now there's going to be an entirely new course in the portal just on this subject. But here's the good news. I guarantee you your competition is not doing this. We are going to talk about how to monetize our deals. And trust me, what does he mean by monetizing? I'll explain it. We're going to talk about how to monetize our deals. Our competition's not doing it. People are going to buy from us like blazing fast, like so much sooner. They are going to thank us not only when they buy, after they buy, but they're literally probably going to be hugging us during sales meetings because nobody's ever worked through this monetization process with them. And then we'll open it up to questions, all right? So let me, without further ado, break it down, just a quick highlight, and then you guys can go into eastonuniversity.com. The information is going to be in there pretty soon. You can go through the more formal class on monetization, but let me make some heads explode. All right, first problem that some of us, not really a lot of us that have been on eastonuniversity.com for a while are doing right now, but your competition's probably not doing this. This doesn't have anything to do with monetization, but it leads into it. The first problem that most sales reps like us don't realize is our prospect needs to tell us their problem. Okay, and I'm going to repeat this because this is really important. They have to tell us their problem. The words literally have to come from their mouth, not, oh, you know, I'm looking for a new CRM, or, you know, we're looking for some sinks and drain fittings for this condo complex that we're building, or, you know, I'm looking for somebody to service my ATMs at the bank. We need to get them to speak more about what is that real problem that's going on. Where is the pain happening? And you guys have been through eastonuniversity.com. You know pretty well how to do that. You know, what's most important to you in this ATM service contract? What's your biggest reason for reaching out to us? Get them to talk. Far too often sales reps hear, oh, you're looking for a new CRM? Fantastic. Let me tell you about Salesforce.com and our brand new Q4 19 surfboard iteration, right? As soon as we hear one little keyword, we're triggered and we go off and start vomiting on the prospect about features and benefits, and it's gross and it's disgusting, okay? So we want to listen for things like, we need blank, right? We're unable to, right now with what's going on, Kay, we are unable to blank, whatever it is. Our goal is to blank. The reason why we can't do blank is blank. You want to be listening for things like this, okay? Once you understand that problem, once you've gotten the prospect to communicate that problem, now I want you to monetize it, okay? What is monetization of this problem? This is huge, and nobody is doing it. Monetization, and this is a huge mistake that we make, is we don't slow down. It's an uncomfortable dialogue. Has to do with money, so a lot of us steer clear from it. We don't slow down and figure out, okay, what is this problem actually costing them, right? Now, maybe it's not a problem. Maybe it's a result that they want to achieve. What are they going to make by achieving this result, okay? When you do this, okay, you're able to make statements like, you know what, Kay, based on the numbers that you and I just walked through, if we solve this problem, your medical practice will earn an additional $2.5 million more per year, or $7,500,000 over 3 years, okay? When you help businesses monetize their goals, they will literally start to hug you, because businesses hardly ever, if never, I would say 99% of businesses, and I'm being generous with that 1%, when they have board meetings, when they have meetings with ownership, actually sit down and monetize their goals. They'll say things like, oh, we need to renew our CRM, right? Or we really need to look at the people that are servicing the ATMs here at the bank. They suck, and 7% of our ATMs are out of service. But nobody sits down and goes, what is this actually costing us? So if you can sit down and work through these numbers, and there's just a few things you need to get. It's pretty informal. I'm going to walk you through it right now. Your prospects, it's going to be like, boom. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so helpful. Why is it helpful to monetize the goal? It's helpful because not only do they know the repercussions of not doing something, they know the benefits of doing it, but most importantly, if we're in B2B sales, it helps them sell it internally. Then Jonathan can go into Kay's office and go, Kay, remember how we were talking about a new payment processing system? Yeah, man, I just figured out us not having this thing dialed in, it's costing us $2.5 million a year. Wow, I didn't think it was that much. Me neither. That's $7.5 million over 3 years, okay? So how do we walk our way into these monetization conversations? The best way to do it is simple. Use an eastonuniversity.com. Simple trick, hack, just out of curiosity, right? Hey, Jonathan, just out of curiosity, have you monetized what the current situation is costing you? Listen to, I'm going to repeat that question. Listen to how great that sounds. They almost can't help you like, what do you mean, right? It starts a dialogue. Just out of curiosity, have you guys, as you're looking at a new service contract for the ATMs, have you guys taken a couple seconds and monetized what the current setup you have with your current service provider is costing you? Well, no, we haven't do that. You mind, can we just kind of spitball a couple numbers and just figure it out? I think it would be helpful for all of us to know, kind of the financials around the situation. Sure, yeah. How do we do that? Here's how you do it, okay? You need 4 pieces of information. First one, okay, and you might want to write these down. What is the problem they want to solve or the outcome they want to achieve? Back to the first point. They need to speak it from their words. We need to know that. Not just, we're looking for a new marketing company. I need to know what is the precise problem they're trying to solve. We're not getting quality leads from Google, right? We're looking for a new roofing contractor on this new commercial development. Why? You got to figure out what is that problem that they're trying to solve or the result that they're trying to achieve. Okay, point number 2 that you need to know. What is the value or the cost of the current situation? Why do I mean value or cost? We'll keep it simple. Let's say somebody came to me and they're like, yeah, I want sales coaching. Got it. The value of the current situation is I need to know, what are they making right now? What are you making right now? Pretty proud of myself. I did $200,000 last year. Okay, good. Now I have a baseline of $200K. I know what the value of the situation is. How much money is the medical practice making right now as is in the current situation, okay? Or the cost of the current situation. Okay, ATMs are down, 8% of them are down. Our systems are down. Our current contract with our company costs us $68,000 a month, and they're horrible. You got to figure out what is the baseline of information that you're dealing with, all right? Then you can simply work through them, and I'll show you some examples, talk through them. What is the value of solving that problem or achieving that desired result, okay? Now here's something that I'm the only person I've ever known that has done this. I've seen people kind of monetize things a little bit before, but you got to get the monetization in these numbers. I need to know what is the value of the result going to be for K in a year, in 3 years. Why would I want a year in 3 years? Why would I want to know 3 years?
Because they're not going to believe it. It compounds the value in their mind, because we also use 5 years because we want to focus on a 5-year contract.
Yeah, I love that. Not only can you focus on that, and you can even change your 3 to 5K. I'm totally cool with that. But you were spot on with exactly why. Because change is uncomfortable. Nobody likes to change. Even though people talk about change, they hate it, right? So I want to show them the value over 1 year. I want to be realistic, all right? But I also want to show them that value 3 years, K, I'm fine with 5 years, because they're making their biggest investment in terms of energy and change happens in that first year, and then it's kind of downhill from there, right? So year 3, year 4, year 5, right? So I want to know 1 year, 3 years. You can do it 5 if you want. Then there's 2 other numbers that nobody figures out that are critical for you to figure out. It's easy. Once you know the 1, you can times it by 5 or times it by 3 to get your 3 or 5, okay? Then if you have your 3-year number, just divide that number by 36. I want you to get a 1-month number, okay? And I also want you to have a 1-week number. Who can tell me, why do you think I would want to know the value of solving this problem over the course of a month or a week? Why would I want to know that?
I say break it to the ridiculous.
But why would I want to break it to the ridiculous, Kay? That was a great point. Why would I want to break it to the ridiculous?
Because, and you could even take it further. You could take it days, you could whatever. You could make it a cup of Starbucks coffee. So
yep.
You want to break it down in something they can digest and comprehend.
Exactly right. And let me add a little bit of power as to why we want to do that. What happens to us as sales reps, especially on days? Today happens to be a Friday. What happens when you call people usually on Fridays? Man, you know what? I talked to Jonathan about this. We're going to roll with this. Call me Monday. Call me next Friday. Call me next week. Call me next month. Typically, you don't hear call me in 3 years. Typically, you don't hear well, Kay's like, oh, you haven't hung out with me in my office. But usually they'll try and kick this can down the road a reasonable amount of time. And I get why they're doing it, because people hate change. But when I understand that number down to a week or a month, and I get the, you know what, Matt, we're going to do this. I got big turkey day coming up, got the holidays coming up. Why don't we do this? Circle back with me next month. Yeah, absolutely. You know, like let's say it was sales coaching, and I talked to Kay, or I talked to Jimmy. We'll just call it Jimmy Smith, right? And Jimmy makes 200 grand a year. He's comfortable making 200 grand a year. But hey, Jimmy, so just out of curiosity, why are we talking? Well, the top reps in my office are all making like 550 grand. And I'm better looking than them. I show up early. I work hard. I've got a nice car. I don't know what it is. It's got to be my sales process. There's no way that they're outselling me because they work harder than me. I work 10 times harder than anybody else in the office. So the value to me of solving this problem, right? I want to make the 550. So I'm like, okay, Jimmy, we're going to make you an extra 350 a year by getting you on eastonuniversity.com. Just putting the numbers around it. Over 3 years, Jimmy, that's $1 million. It's $1,050,000 in dollars. And every month, once we get you accelerated, once we get you on the sales process, every month is $29K. It's almost an additional $1,000 a day. And, you know, Matt, I love it. Let's do it. Call me next Friday. I'm going to get signed up. Got it, Jimmy. No problem. You realize, though, it's $299 a month to get you on Easton University. And if we wait a week, based on your numbers with the other people in the office, it's $7,200. Is it, like, you could go on vacation for $7,200. Is it worth putting this off a week? Is $7,200 worth you putting it off a week? And you guys are going to be shocked when it's you going through the number. And here's the thing. What I said at the beginning of this, it has to cross their lips. I'm not going in and saying, Timmy, you're going to make 350 more grand a year. I'm working, Timmy, why are we talking? I'm making 200K. Congratulations, man. That is awesome. You're already good at what you do. You're clearly in the right profession. Why are we talking? Because the people in my office are making 550, right? It's Timmy's numbers, the 350, okay? That's why I want this down to, call me back in a month, Matt. Wait, I'm confused. We're at $299 a month to have you have access to the coaching, and you're talking, if we can get you at the rate the other reps in the office are closing, that's $30K. Is it worth $30,000 to wait a month? You know what? You're right. Let's start on this right now, okay? I mentioned that ATM service contract. Let me talk about that, because that's not like sales training where it's pretty easy to go, if you do this, you're going to make more money. But let's say you were a bank and you had an ATM. Let's say you're an ATM service contract company, right? Hey, so why are we talking? Well, 8% of our ATMs, we've got, 80 locations. We're a mid-tier bank. At any given time, 7-8% of our ATMs are not operable. They're not working, especially the ones by schools, because these little kids like stick gum and stuff in the readers. It's horrible. It's terrible. And our service people, they take forever to get out there. Got it. What does that cost you in terms of lost revenue, having 8% of your ATMs not down and you not able to collect those ATM fees? I don't know exactly. Can you ballpark it for me, Mike? Call it 220 grand a year. Got it. Write that down. And when this other vendor, why did you call us? Well, the other vendor, they've got us on these contracts. I know you guys don't have contracts. The other vendor charges us these crazy fees every time. It's called a truck roll fee. So if the machine goes down because they didn't service it in their normal service window when they should have made sure it was happening, then they got to hit us with a truck roll fee that's $150. What do you guys pay on average in those truck roll fees over a year? I would pay about, 8-10 grand. Okay, let's round that down to 8 grand. Okay, here's something that I was thinking about. Having the ATMs down, does that ever upset customers? Abso-freaking-lutely, it upsets customers, 100%. What do you guys think you pay an additional call center time, people calling in to complain in the call center? I don't know. Low end, a couple grand in service calls over the course of the year, with 8% of the ATMs being down. Got it. Here's an interesting one. Do you ever think somebody leaves the bank because the ATM wasn't working, because they weren't able to deposit their check, and then they called the call center, and then they were put on hold, and they just get upset and they go to Wells Fargo? Yeah, it happens. How often do you think that happens? I don't know. We've got 86 locations. It's got to happen 15, 20 times a year we lose a customer. Got it. So I was doing some research. The average lifetime value of a banking customer is about $9,800 over the course of them staying with you 3 to 5 years. So based on my math, if we lose 15 of those a year, that's $147,000 in lost value. Now look at how I can talk to Michael, or whatever I said his name was. We'll call it Mikey, right? Mike, we're losing $377,000 a year with you guys having 8% of your ATMs not operable. When we add up the $220 in value plus the $8,000 with the current vendor truck rolls plus the $2,000 in customer complaints and the $147,000 in lost customer lifetime value, that's $377 grand a year that we're solving. By the way, that's $1,131,000 over 3 years, or $31,416 per month. So, well, you know what? Call me next week. Let's do this. I'm going to sign this. I have the authority to sign this. We're in the window. I can call you next week, but is it worth losing another $7,854 in value having these non-skillful people servicing your ATMs? No, it's not. Now think about when Mike signs that contract. How good is Mike going to feel? Guys, I just solved a $1.1 million problem. Mikey be in the house. When he started the conversation with you, it was, hey, we're looking for a new person to service our ATM. Pissed them off at the bank. It was something that had been stewing long enough for Mike to finally reach out to whatever company he was reaching out to, right? Mike calls CSG. CSG's like, hey, yeah, why are we talking today? What's the most important thing we need to accomplish? Well, I don't want a contract. Great, we don't have them, right? Talk to me about what's going on with your current vendor. Oh man, they're horrible. When you say horrible, can you give me a specific scenario? Yeah, 8% of our ATMs are inoperable at any given time, has been that way for the last 5 years. We're at a point now where it's unacceptable. Okay, now we're having to, if you, just out of curiosity, Mike, have you guys kind of monetized what that's costing you having 8% of your ATMs down? And we go through that exercise. Guys, this is the kind of stuff that not only gives you some leverage, and I'm not saying to be a smartass, but gives you some leverage. Like you can literally go, okay, I get it. I'm happy to call you back in January. But if we leave things the way we are, all we're doing is kicking that can further down the road. And based on the numbers that you told me, there's $47,000 in top line revenue to the medical practice if we can fix claims not being approved or whatever it is that you're trying to fix. Guys, we've got to monetize this situation. If you go back into your Easton University, you see those email templates where you can put those dollar values in there. You can also put the intangibles like employee morale, right? What is the value to that bank on the employees? Because guess what happens when the ATM doesn't work? Who do you think rolls into the bank first thing in the morning the next day to let them know that their car got towed because they were trying to get it out of the parking lot and the parking lot attendant only accepted cash and that they couldn't get cash, and now they want the bank to give them some reciprocity for $749 in tow fees? If you guys don't think that that kind of stuff happens, it happens all the time. I heard somebody flipping out in the airport over parking fees. I'll be honest, it was me flipping out in the airport over parking fees because I had to go to a live event. Their parking was so bad that I had to park in temporary parking to the tune of $380 over 24 hours. When things are broken, customers get upset. Now, I'm not saying I was a jerk. I could have been. I didn't get my money back. But there's a draw to employee morale having me be like, guys, your gate was broken on the main thing. That's probably something good that who's ever selling gate service contracts should work with and monetize. What is it costing the airport? I'll tell you what it's costing them for me. I travel 6 times a month. I'm going to start Ubering to the airport because I can't trust their gate anymore. So they're not going to make $40 a day in parking off of me. Does this make sense? What questions do you guys have for me? Hey, I hope you loved the video. If you didn't already subscribe, please consider doing so and leave a comment. I want to hear from you. Give the video a like. That's all I ask. I'll see you on the next one.